Okay, hello. This is Bernadette, the Psychic Medium. As promised, we are live today on TikTok, and I'm trying something new here. As you can see, I have the K2 meter going on right now. Okay, if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe, or yeah, follow. Okay, so So what I'm doing in this TikTok has not been done anywhere else. Also, those of us that are joining, if you're able to hear me, please let me know so I can uh, know that this mic is working. Okay, so if you're new to the channel and you don't know what's going on, why I'm going live, I have a couple of introduction uh, introduction videos. Please check those out, part 1, 2, and 3, or you can just skip 1 and just go part 2 and 3, so you kind of get the context of what's going on here. But what I'm going to do is that this is different comparative what's going on TikTok today. And I am the type of person that always constantly think out the box, sometimes a little unorthodox, but it makes sense, okay? And I swear it doesn't hurt anybody or anything. It's just different ways, trying different angles on um, awareness for people about spirit, loved ones on the other side in heaven, or if you want to call it in the spirit realm, or anything like that. Okay, so what I want to before I get started, what I want to do is show you what I have that I'm going to use today, or this evening. And I'm going to use this K2 meter right here that you see. I use these when I go on, when I go with friends to, we call it investigative, paranormal investigations. So I go to like either haunted houses or haunted locations or cemeteries and things like that. Okay, so I use some of the stuff here. I got other stuff. I have also what do I got here? What's that one? Okay, I have also these little light bulbs here. Is here. You seen these? If you go to these watch shows, they use these little light bulbs. These are motion light bulbs, and what these do is that if you lay them on the ground somewhere, like in a hallway or on the ground, like at a cemetery or something, these are motion type bulbs. So what happens is if spirit is nearby and it touches and kicks it or knocks it down or touches it, it lights up. Okay, so that's kind of like a physical thing that spirit does when it activate these bulbs. But I'm not going to use these because it's sort of like a false positive. And so if I was thinking of putting it up here, but then me moving around the couch, it's going to trigger the motion. So I'm not going to use that. All right. So to be fair, all right, to make sure this is all authentic that's happening. And let me move this out of the way a little bit. Okay. All right. So well, I've already talked to Spirit before. I went on live, so they know what to do, or if they want to present themselves and stuff like that to us. Okay. And also another thing I use sometimes is I use when I go on this paranormal investigation, I have dowsing rods. Okay. These are copper dowsing rods. And how to use these is what you do is you hold on to each side because it's like really loose. Okay, they're really loose. And what you do is you hold on each of them and you put your elbows close to the side and forward, and make sure these rods are straight, and you can ask spirit a question, and then if it's crossed, you tell them. If it's crossed, it's yes, and if it's uncrossed, it's no. Oh, well, actually backwards. I'm sorry. If it's cross, it's no, and if it's uncrossed, it's yes. Because we think of stop, no, with the cross, and then the Y, yes. Okay. So I use the dots and rods sometimes when I go to investigative, and I share them because when the investigative uh, um, things that I go to, everybody brings their own equipment, and we pass them around and we interchange them, and let other people try them out. Okay, um, so that's a neat thing. Okay, and also, oh, sorry. Um, I want to make sure I have enough headspace here because sometimes spirit will use the wall, and I live alone. I have a cat, and he's in the other room. All right, so if you see shadows or anything, that's coming from spirit. Okay, just to let you know that. It's either it could be like a shape of a butterfly. It could be a form of a image of something, a face. Okay, maybe something might show up before you. I don't know what. So don't be afraid. My apartment, I live in an apartment and it's not haunted. Okay, I will explain all that in a minute. But I want to kind of like introduce you how this is going to proceed, so to say, pretty much. Um, uh, a little bio about myself is that I've always been a gifted child. Um, Growing up, I've always either can hear things or I sense things like energy, or I'm very empathic. I'm an empath as well. And for the longest time, I didn't even know I was an empath until late in life. Okay. So, and I do have a Christian background. So, there's a lot of things going on between. I have always thought that I had this conflict with my religious background to my abilities. Do they align with God and that and my faith and everything like that? If you're interested in my journey of my being grown up into the paranormal realm and the psychic realm, I do have a YouTube channel, and it talks about each of my journey growing up, and how also how I saw at age I saw a flying saucer, also a divine intervention, from a preventable of a really bad crash when I was young, and also a lot of things that I've learned growing up, that I knew that I was different, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew I had something. It's just that after a while you kind of see things that's unexplainable, that's humanly unexplainable, that only beyond the powers that can only do these type of miracles or happenings. Okay, so I've had that growing through my entire life until later in life I learned about what I am, and the labels, the name of what I have, and I also had to learn what it means to have these abilities and how to use them and how to use them for others. Okay. So, and like again, this was later in life. I mean, this is like after after my daughter was in high school and went into college, and I was already in my 40s. Okay, so it wasn't like boom, I need to do this work, and boom, I started reading people. It wasn't like that for me. I was pretty much it wasn't like a thing that I talked about openly because I didn't even know I understand what I had. So I just figured it was just God's gift, and this is this is special to me. And okay, that was all. That was it. So my upbringing was a little different than most. I would say it that way. And so and then I'm so used to the paranormal. I grew up in that type of surrounding, so none of it scared me. Um, it was just something natural and part of my lifestyle, so to speak. I mean, if you grew up as a baby and you're able to see spirit, or if you're able to hear, and it's constantly happening while you're growing up, it becomes normal. It's accepted. You know what I mean? You don't really know the difference if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It just happens. So that's the way how I was. And then a couple of times when I was older, maybe like about fifth and sixth grade, maybe fourth and fifth grade, I started mentioning a little bit of things, and people thought I was crazy. Not crazy, but like, oh, she's imagining, right? You get that? Oh, she's imagining, or she's looking for attention because she's the baby in the family. Okay? But the interesting is that during that era time, it came to pass. Okay. um, so it was very interesting, and so I don't. And the people I have told these things to, I haven't seen them since since I was a kid. So I don't know if they like it took them back, like wow, she was right all this time or anything like that. So I don't know. It was just like I was mentioning it out of the blue, and they just thought it was strange for me to say something like that, and assumed I was dreaming or I had a big imagination or I was just looking for attention, because because I was the baby or something like that, because I am the youngest, I am the baby in the family, okay, but I wasn't, I'm not the type that looks for spotlight or things like that. Matter of fact, I'm kind of like in the shadows type person. So being out on TikTok is a learning a learning experience for me because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone to be live with you guys, sharing a little bit of my story and what I'm going to be doing tonight. Okay, so if this content, if you like this context and you want to see more of this live type feeds, please go ahead and like and follow me, and I will be bringing some more content for you. Um, this is more kind of like an introduction of what I'm going to continue doing, but I just kind of want to give it a understanding of where about myself and then how this is going to work. Okay, because like I said, like another one part one and two, nobody's done this. I haven't seen. I mean, yes, I've seen some investigations and stuff, but I haven't seen anybody bring have spirit have the floor. Okay, I'm not doing any readings. So but what I am going to do is I'm going to have spirit speak. All right, and I'm not going to like have them become me, have them jump in me and then me talk out like them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask spirit who wants to step forward, and then I have a pad here, and I'm going to write down all the information of who's stepping forward. If it happens to be a relative, a friend, or maybe it's a spirit guide that you know of, and things like that, go ahead and comment and say, hey, I know who that is, or that sounds like it's for me. Okay. um go again, it's not a reading, it's just that these spirits are coming forward and speaking their own spirit voice out to TikTok. Okay. This is new for them too, so we're both doing this together for the first time. Even though you'll see some mediums do spirit work doing mediumship and stuff, it's almost like they're already know what their loved ones are going to ask, and it's already probably the same question, or maybe it's a confirmation that they need and stuff like that. But this particular um, setting is a little different. They don't have to uh, talk to like uh, how would say like a script type questions. You know what I mean? I want them to feel free to come forward and to just speak whatever they want to say. Maybe they have a story they want to talk about or say. Maybe they do want to reach out to somebody, but I don't know who that could be, and they just want, and they know that that person's going to be here tonight, or maybe scrolling later after this is over, and they might have a message for them that way. Okay, so you know, but as long as I'm not putting any restrictions on the spirit of what they want to talk about. Okay, again, if you like this type of a setting and this type of a content that I'm bringing forth to you on live, please like and follow, so I can bring some more do some more lives with you guys. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, because this is not pre-planned or anything like that. This is, you're gonna get the the bloopers and stuff. So if you see lights pop turning off, because I have a ring like a ring light in front of me, and then I have a lamp here, so any of those lights turn off, you know that spirit saying, okay, it's over. You won't be able to see me. Okay. All right, so okay, so anyway, again, this right here, this K2 meter I have right here, I told spirit is that if they want to acknowledge themselves, they can go ahead and go buy this. They can put their hand over it, or they can you might see orbs above my head, or you might see like little glitter lights. Okay, because I don't have any glitter lights. That's why I had these pillows on my thing. If you look at the videos, I had pillows back here with flowers. I took them down because I want spirit to use my blank wall. All right, I want to give them some access to do, you know, how they want to express themselves. So you might see shadows, and it might be a shape of a horse, it might be a shape of a butterfly, it might be shape of a flower. You might see orbs, you know. I might not be able to see them because I'm looking at you know, the list here of who's here. Thank you for joining me tonight, and things like that. But spirit is constantly moving and doing stuff behind the scenes, so I'm not keeping track of what all spirits are doing. Okay, now there's I hear a question about, they're wondering, people, if I'm worried that if I have like a spirit that's going to like be mischievous in my space and nothing. There's one thing, I have house rules, and for us mediums, we have to set boundaries, and we have to set rules. Okay, it's very important, because if you don't set boundaries and rules, then you're gonna get into a whole lot of spirit mess. Okay, so and I've learned these boundary rules way young, when I first started this crash course of learning about my abilities, because spirit just, well, my spirit teachers was teaching me that I need to learn to set boundaries and things like that. So this is what I've learned for myself, or what I need to do. And I have house rules in my space, and that means in my apartment, and me personally, and everything. Okay, so my 3 rules is that spirit is not allowed to invade my space. That means if you're going to be mischievous and mean and create mischief in my space, you're not allowed in whatsoever. Okay, and also you can't mess with my stuff. That means you can't mess with my laptop, my cell phones, and anything electronic. You can't, like, create, you know, short my electricity or anything like that. That's including my car. That's my stuff. You can't mess with my batteries or any computer chip or anything in my car. All right, that's my stuff. Okay, so you can't mess my space. Okay, invade my space. You can't mess with my stuff. And another one is, you cannot touch my family. All right, and that is a biggie. So and I'm very serious when I talk about this, because I tell them, I said, look, if I find out that my family is being messed with, or my mom, or not my mom, but my mom has passed in 2016, but like my dad, or my siblings, or my cousins, or anything like that, if I find that out, that any of them are being messed with, like touched, scratched, poked, getting bad dreams, or anything like that, they're in trouble. They have to come through me with that bull crap, okay? Because I don't deal with any type of mischief, or evilness and things like that uh, among family members. That's including my cat, because my cat is my family. So there's no touchy on my cat or any of my family's pets. All right, that's included. All right. Now, there's another, the question, well, what happens if one happens to be messing with family or messing with your pet? Well, what I do is I just banish them and send them out. They get blocked. And yes, the spirit does listen. All right. Because the thing is that I have a certain power of, I would say not me, but I have backup that support what I believe in, and what and the and what I believe in, and who I'm doing this for. All right, I'm doing it in love. I'm doing it out of respect. All right, and I care for my family as well as the animals. Okay, and so spirit knows I mean business, and so because of that type of character and the demeanor I am, I have backup of a higher source. It could be from Jesus, it could be from God, it could be from the angels like Michael, or the archangels and all that. But I have backup. So when I set these rules, they know I mean business. So when I banish, I don't banish by myself in my own energy, but I get this uh, solid solid backup uh, from the higher source, and that's what's in heaven. All right. Okay. So that's because God knows and Jesus knows that the heart, right? So they know my heart. They know my heart means I'm very protective of my family. I'm very supportive, and I only want to help and do good for mankind. So they see that. All right. And actually, they see that also growing up. And I have some stories on my YouTube channel. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, just do BG Medium. I think it's the same thing. It'll have the same Hello Spirit sign on the back, and it talks about all the my journey and stuff like that that's going on. Okay. Okay. So, did that, explained. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ask Spirit to come forward. Now, I'm going to explain what I see in my mind's eye. I see that we have a room. All right. It's a big room, and it's lighted, like here, it's lighted. And I have a row of chairs. All right. I'm hearing 10, so it's like 5 and 5, two rows. Two rows. It's 5 and 5, and each chair, each seat has a spirit that's sitting there. So I'm asking anybody that wants to come forward, that wants to speak. All right. Again, some of them might be shy. All right, but that's okay. Because when I have another one, maybe they'll come out on another live because they want to check it out, see how it goes first. All right. And they know that there are some non-believers of the afterlife and spirit. They know that. And so I'm giving them the opportunity to come forward and show proof of that. Okay. I'm not going to, I'm not here to convince you or anything. I'm just here providing a service for the souls on the other side. I'm helping the souls on the other side. I do, help with mediums, and I do mediumship work, and I also do mentoring. I also have some classes. I also have a group in Facebook that is for developing abilities as well. So if you're interested in that, you can look me up on Facebook, uh, BG, Bernadette Psychic Medium. That's what it is on Facebook, and has same Hello Spirit background on there as well, with my face on it. And what that group does is that it's for any age. There's no age limit on that. You can be a beginner. You can have, like if you're a person that has know nothing about psychic abilities, but you're interested and you just want knowledge, you're welcome to join. It's about knowledge. It's about understanding what each of the abilities are. And then maybe you want to see if any of the abilities resonate with you of yourself, and see, if it's you. Because the reason why I'm doing this is because having a group like this to develop is because for myself, I never had a mentor, I never had a teacher. I never had like a physical person who I look up to teach, to teach me about my abilities and things. I never had that. My teacher is my spirit teacher. That's the only teacher I know. A teachers, I have more than one. And my spirit guides, and that's it. I never had, I never, went to a person having developed my abilities. All this is done through uh, my spirit teachers. So everything I've learned is through them. And so and they were telling me a couple of years ago, saying that I need to start a group like that, to a development group, because there's a lot of people like me that never had a teacher, that never had anybody mentoring them or teach them, you know, the meanings of each of the abilities. Yes, there are classes and things like that, but there's more to it than just having knowledge. It's about hands-on training, hands-on using your abilities, and that's what I do in my group. Is I create um, uh, lessons for the entire group. It's like a group lesson exercise, is what it is, and we learn how to, you know, use our clairvoyance. We learn how to do our hearing. We learn how to tell the difference between emotions of what spirit and with our own. Okay, so we learn about all that stuff. Yes, we get the knowledge, but we also get the hands-on training on how that works. And everybody has their own way of learning about their abilities. Okay, we all learn the same tools, but the thing that's different is that how the tools interact with your abilities. That's where the learning comes from. That's when the learning happens, actually, is when your abilities interact and uses the tools. How does your abilities strengthen? How do you strengthen your abilities using these tools? Because there is no wrong way or right way of doing it, because everybody has their own understanding or perception of how each of the tools are for them. Okay, so that if you're interested in the wanted to join this group, because I already have over a 1K people in there, and it's for all ages, it's for all levels. You don't have to have experience. If you're aware of your abilities, you can come on join. If you don't know if you have abilities, but you're interested in the education part, come and join. If you're wanting to start a mediumship type business and don't know where to start or how to develop more into hone in as certain abilities, you can join as well. If I even have people that already have businesses, and they join because they use um, different alternative methods than the norm. Okay, because the tools that I get is actually from the spirit teachers. It's not from me, but from the spirit teachers. So it works for all levels. That's the neat thing. It works for all levels, and it all depends on where you're at spiritually and awareness wise of how your tools interact with your abilities. Okay. So that's a neat thing, and that's the only difference. Is everything is hands on. You learn while you learn hands on of your abilities while you're getting knowledge and experience with that. Okay, so that's and my group is also linked to my Medium page on my Facebook also as well. Okay, again, I want to welcome those that are here. And if you like the content and want to see more, please like and follow. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get down to business. Okay. 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 I'm seeing a gentleman. He looks older. He's gray. He's maybe between 5'7", 5'8". Oh, okay. They're saying between 5'7" and 5'10". They don't want to be short. Okay. I'll say 5'10". All right. Gray hair. Um, he he golfs. I'm seeing him in a golf suit like attire. Um, okay, a golf attire. Um, he's also. I'm hearing the word smoker. He said they should have quit earlier. Okay. Said he should have quit earlier because he knew. He says his family's been telling him that uh, he needs to cut down on the smoking. But he's like real strong minded, like you can't tell me what to do. All right. So and then he's saying, I should have listened to my family. Okay, so but he didn't tell me that's what he passed from, but that's what he's talking about. And he's saying, I'm hearing, I see a letter G, so I don't know if it means Gary or Gerald or anything, but it's male spirit, letter G, and he's in it like is golfing. I just see a field, like a green field, and these little poles, right, like a golfing field, and he's out golfing in heaven. All right, so I guess that's what he wants me to let somebody know is that his letter G is his name. So I don't know if that's his first name or his last name initial of G, but he's a golfer. G. He says that he is something he always does when he was live, and he's still doing it in heaven. So he's golfing in heaven. That's what he says. All right. I got to remind Spirit. Remember, don't forget. Some of them are looking at me right here, but I'm like, don't forget this thing here. People want to know that you're around. Okay. All right. So, okay. So that's okay. He says she's going to leave now. He's going golfing. All right. See ya. All right. I see a child here. He looks. He's. I'm hearing the word Jewish, so I don't know if it's a Jewish background or anything, but he's young. He's a young male spirit. Okay, he's showing me a face of that little boy from what's it E.T. That little boy from E.T. who found E.T. He looks like him. He looks like him, but his eyes are shaped a little smaller, not as big. But he looks like him, and he's in heaven as well. Um, I'm hearing the word Matthew, so I don't know if it's Matthew or Maddie or Matt. or something with an M. But he's a young soul as well. He says that I'm hearing the word basketball. He says he likes to play basketball. He said something about his knees before, I guess when he was alive. Um, okay, he said something about he couldn't stand before when he was alive. There's something about his knees. But he says now he says he's in heaven and I could see him bending his knees like bouncing the basketball. He says look, he goes, I can bend my knees now. Okay. But is his I keep getting Matthew, so I don't know if that means his first name or his last name, if it's Matthews or Matthew or Maddie. Um, and he's a young boy. He looks like the kid from E.T., the boy that found E.T. That's what he looks like. I mean, the same weight, body, same kind of hairdo, same color. He looks almost just like him, but the eyes are a little smaller. He has smaller eyes, is what I see, and I don't know why he brought up Jewish. So I don't know if he's from a like a Jewish descent or something, or maybe he's from like Israel or Jerusalem or something like that. I don't know, but that's what I see. He's a really cute little boy. Um, okay, now I'm seeing a woman coming forward. I'm hearing the word Gladys. Um, Gladys. I see like a cardigan sweater. It's white, and it looks like crochet type knitted kind of cardigan. I don't know if she if she did it herself or if she bought it in the store, but it looks really cute. And it's got a little bit of something here, like a crochet type, and then the rest of it is like all knitted. So I don't know if it was handmade, but it is white. It's a white cardigan named Gladys. She looks I'm smelling cookies. I don't know if she loves to bake. I'm smelling cookies, like oatmeal cookies, um, old fashioned oatmeal cookies. Um, she said that she still makes old fashioned oatmeal cookies, same way from the old family recipe of oatmeal cookies. Um, and she still makes those in heaven for the other kids there. She does. This is kind of like a thing that she does in heaven is that she cooks, she bakes. She bakes a lot of cookies. She bakes. Oh, okay, she's telling me what she's baking. She bakes cookies. She bakes bread, like homemade bread, um, and pies. Oh, you want to come over my house and make some of that stuff? She said, "Yeah, if I was alive, I would." But she does cookies, oatmeal cookies. She said that the kids love the oatmeal cookies. The family recipe over there, and the grown-ups get the bread. She makes different bread. I'm hearing the word rye. Okay. And I don't. I've never butter bread. I don't know what that is, but she's saying butter bread, rye bread. Um, she doesn't make very many pies, but she does make pies. But she does a lot of cookies. because she likes to make her um, family recipe of the cookies. Okay. All right. Thank you, Gladys. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. Once I mention them, then they get up and walk away, and then somebody comes forward and sits in their seat. Okay, so there's like more people standing around waiting while I have the 10 that's already seated. Okay, so let's see who else. Um, let me go on from the other side here, because right now I'm kind of looking in the middle, and now I want to look from the side. All right, I'm seeing a young gentleman. Okay, he doesn't look that young. He looks like an adult. I say he looks like about between 30 and 45-ish. Okay. He's a little husky. All right, he's a husky man. He likes he's got toys like a motorcycle, ski, we call it jet ski, um, uh, and he's showing me an ATV. All right, so it's a motorcycle. I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget. Motorcycle, jet ski, and an ATV. Okay, and he is a husky fella. He always wears jeans because that's all I see, and he says jeans is like a second skin. He likes denim jeans. He says they're comfy. You could okay, all right. All right. He's a husky man. I'm trying to see if I can look at his face. Okay, his hair is it's not thick, it's not thin, it's kind of between. It's like thinner than mine. You know, I have thick hair. Actually, it's natural curly. I had to blow dry and iron it down. But his hair is a little thinner. And he's showing me two types of pictures. Like an old picture when he had long hair, like back in the 70s. I don't know, kind of like those hard rock type hairdos. And then I'm seeing another picture, of more of a recent picture of his hair cut short above his ear. I don't know why he's showing me two pictures, but that's what he's showing me. He's showing me his hair like it looks like a Bon Jovi hair back then. That type of hairstyle, how it's all matted and long and stringy, that type of thing. And then he said he got tired of the long hair. He says, I decided to cut it short. And I think it also, he wanted to get dates. He says, okay, I don't know if this happened before or while he was dating or after he dates, but he got a haircut, and that was the reason why. Is because he wanted to impress the girls or the girl he's dating or want to date or something like that. So if any of these make sense to you, go ahead and post in the comments who you think it might be, because I have no idea. I don't know who these people are. I'm just asking them to come forward and speak, and I would just they're under no restriction what they want to talk about. And a lot of them just right now for the last three I've got right now, it's just showing that they're here. So I'm assuming there's somebody online or maybe coming back later to check this out is gonna identify some of these people that I've mentioned. Okay, so again, I have no idea. I'm not getting any names or any letters on this one. He says that by his toys, people are gonna know. there's more than one person that's going to know who this is. Okay. I'm asking him about his death. He doesn't want to talk about it because it's, I guess he's saying it hurts the family too much to talk about it because it still feels fresh. So I don't know if this is a recent passing or it's an old passing, but it just stirs up a lot of emotions, emotional pain, talking about it or bringing it up. But so he's not talking about it, but he's saying that his toys, that he's husky, he's a young man between 30 to 45 ish, and he has a motorcycle, jet ski, and ATV. I'm asking, do the family still have it? He says uh, the motorcycle and the ATV is still there, but the jet ski is not. So I don't know if it's been given to another family member, but the motorcycle and the ATV is still with the, I guess, person. I don't know if he's married or his girlfriend or something, but it's still there wherever it's at. Maybe it's a family parent has it or something. I don't know. Keeping it because it's still being used. Is basically what he's saying. He's saying that the motorcycle and ATV are still being used. So if that's anybody, go ahead and comment. And then if you see and if it resonates you later and you come back later, those of us that didn't get to see the live but got to hear all the rest of the messages, go ahead and leave a comment. So I know that that you heard that your loved ones had come through. Okay. All right. Okay. So I said, okay, I mentioned it online, on air, on live, and he says, okay, now he's going to let somebody else have a seat. Okay. Thank you. And I see who else is. Let me see. Okay. I see a, okay. Okay. I'm hearing a mom. Okay. A mom would be, this particular mom is a mom that's in heaven. Okay, but to us here would probably be either a mom or a grandmother. Okay, but she's a mom and she's holding a baby. All right, and this particular baby happens to be either it's a baby that passed either, and she's a girl. Okay, so she's a girl baby because I see her like in pink, like a pastel pink, cute little dress, chiffon dress, kind of like sheer, and she's got these cute little white patent leather tight shoes, very cute. Um, and she and she's got a big, those cute bows that they put on those babies, kind of like newborn babies. How they're really thick hair, and then they've got this really big bow in the front, and it's pink, and it's a girl. It's a girl baby. Um, so and she's holding the baby. So the mom of the baby is alive here. Is physically alive. So the mom would be, I guess, the mother. Okay, okay. So she's the grandmother of the baby that she's holding, and the baby that she's holding. Okay, she's saying that the baby that she's holding was never birthed. So, so from that means that the baby was either had a miscarriage or something happened. Okay, or the body kind of just rejected it for some reason, even before it was formed. Okay, but she said that she's got the baby there, um, the mom or the grandmother of the girls. The grandmother is holding the baby, and it's a girl, so she knows. So if you had, so those of us, okay, she's a grandma. Write this down. Grandma holding grandbaby, and she's a girl. I think there was discussion. They were wondering if this baby, what sex it was, what gender it was going to be, and it was going to be a girl. And she said she looks just like her daughter, meaning the living girl, the mom. Um, she looks just like her. She says a split image of her, of her daughter. That means the living mom who had a child that passed, that's in heaven now. Okay, my condolences to that. That's I've done a lot of readings for babies, and they are very emotional, very touching, and have to be really compassionate for for these type of readings. Okay, um, I've gotten I've done a lot of readings with children. It ranges from either miscarriage or accidental deaths, or different types of passings, and or even like illness, disease, and things like that. So and they vary in stages. But regardless of how they pass, they're in heaven and they're being taken care of by the loved ones, either by their grandparents or great grandparents, or some, like the Catholics believe in their godparents, right? So if they had godparents that passed, they are also taking care of the babies as well. Okay. Um, so they're not alone growing up, or wandering around or anything like that, or lost. They're within family members, and they're surrounded with so much love and care. Okay. Also, um, when because I'm getting a lot of questions, do babies in heaven grow up, or do they mature and things like that? They do, but the thing is that they don't mature in a way that we normally think of how we would mature. When we grow up, we eat and we age, and we grow. Like if it's a boy, they shoot up, and you know, because they're of age, maybe 18 years old, and they're 6 feet tall, right? Well, it's a lot different in the spirit world how they age. It all depends on the development of the soul. So a lot of these children that they go to like a spirit school, like a regular school, how we have like a public school here. They go to like a spirit school there, growing up, and depending on how their soul evolves and nurtures, surrounding in love and care, and assisting them, then when their soul matures, while they're going to school, then they do age a little bit that way. Okay. they and some people still like their food, right, and they still eat. All right, they still eat on the other side and everything, but they don't, they don't age or anything like that. Because it's like I said, it's hard for the human mind to wrap around what goes on in the spirit world. It's nothing like here in the physical plane, in here. And because they don't have to worry about testing. They don't have to worry about sickness. They don't have to worry about getting robbed or anything like that. And they don't have to worry about diseases and things like that. So it's so different out there. And like I said, once they go to this like spirit school, it's like a regular public school, but a spirit school. Once their soul evolves and it matures that way, and when it matures, then they age. Okay, so a lot of us that are say like we're like my age right now, if I was to pass now, I would still look the same on the other side, but my soul well, I could still go to either spirit school, or I can come back and start a new contract and continue my journey. Okay. And then I would have to basically start over again as being a child, because I would be conceived somewhere and my soul will be in a different era, different family, and things like that. And my journey would start that a new journey that way. But if I decide to stay and I want to, you know, continue to evolve in spirit and things like that, I can come down and I can either help out, you know, there in the spirit world that needs my help, or I could just remain there and just go to like a spirit school and continue to evolve. And then maybe later on I want to either, and once my I've learned to kind of like cap all my learning and things like that, and things, and I want to decide to stay up there, stay in heaven, and maybe come back later. They can do that. It all depends on a personal preference. Not everybody's going to be reincarnated. They have a choice. All right, you have a choice if you want to go to heaven and you want to stay there, or you can come down and start again and continue the journey. When you continue a journey, you're learning new skills, you're learning a new journey, you're meeting new people, all right? You might even come across people that you've had associated with in your past, and you're seeing them now, and you kind of like look at these people. It's like, I feel like I know you, and that's because the soul understands the other soul, is that they've been crossed paths before in the past. Okay, so that happens. But yeah, so children, they don't stay little forever. They go through a process and they evolve and they learn. And once their soul gets to learning and it gets developed, and and then they start to like get a little older, because I've seen children um, that were small, say like maybe 7 years old, and then I give a reading. Maybe it was like 20 years ago or something, and 20 years has passed, and give a reading, and he looks like, um, like a handsome young man and things like that, and it's funny because the person I'm giving the reading says, well, he didn't look like he was little when he passed. I said, well, he's not little anymore. He's matured. He's grown up a little, since the last time, and he shows me the face and who he looks like and things like that. So, I mean, I can see how his soul evolves and they got older and things like that. I know there's some people who will, do they stop aging? I said, well, it's not like an aging thing, because even if you look old, your spirit doesn't die. Okay, it's just that it all depends on when you pass, and then you evolve from there. You evolve from that at that stage. So if somebody was like 80 or 90 years old and they passed, they can either depending on their soul, they can either still remain the same and looking like that, or they prefer to look like younger. Maybe they were in their most happiest times when they were in the 50s, and they want to look like back in the 50s, when they were 50 years old, that type of thing. So, just because they're, different ages doesn't mean that their age stops. It's just that the soul develops and it just continues to evolve and grow. All right. So, and evolve and grow up and things like that. Okay, so I mean, the person could be in their 90s, and that it passed, and it's maybe it was, for instance, maybe back in 1888, right? And they passed when they were 25, Okay, maybe it was like a plague going on there, flu, and they didn't have any, back then, they didn't have any medicine to combat the flu. Maybe it was influenza flu, you know, so they passed with that and they were 25. So they will look 25 today, all right? So, so if they want to age, then they can evolve and learn to develop their own soul. And again, they have a choice to come back and start over, not start over, but start a new journey and to try to continue to perfect the soul, or they can stay there. And I met some people from 1800s, 1700s, and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I did a what do they call it? A cemetery. No, yeah, a cemetery investigator here in San Diego at on my own, not with the group this time. I did one on my own at Pioneer Park, and I had spoke to a couple of people that were back in the 1800s, I believe it was. It was the 1800s. And then also there was an incident. I was at Balboa Park. Yeah, I was at Old Town. It was in Old Town, a historic park, and I was in a little area where it's known to be kind of like have some spirit activity, and that I had spoken with a Indian that's from kayaks, kayaks or something like that, Indian back then, and I even have a recording of it on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. I had asked a question. I said, I had asked him, "Are you from one of the? Oh, are you from one of the? Wait, hold on. What's this? Uh, okay. Which okay, it's telling me something. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, okay. It's telling me. Oh, what is on the head? It's telling me that I have 4 minutes left. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so anyway, I'm on a time schedule here. I guess because it's my first live. So if you like the content and you want to see more, please like and follow. Okay, so I want to thank you for tonight and thank you for joining me. I hope this was fun for you as it was for me, and I will let Spirit know that we will give it a shot again at another date. I will post a date when. Okay. Okay, let me see here. I don't know what it's doing here. Okay, it says here. This is too funny. Okay. It's giving me 2 minutes and 36 seconds. All right, again, if you like, and if you want me to come up with some more content, go ahead and like and follow. Please follow. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh. Okay, that was kind of weird. All right. Yeah. So it's gonna. Wait, so it's gonna. I guess delete itself. I don't know. It was telling me I have like 2 minutes. But anyway, um, I wanted to thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to have another one coming up. And if you like this content, you want more, if you want some more uh, new, uh, it's like a series going on, Spirit, giving them the floor. All right. Please join, like and join. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye now.